Welcome back to the channel. This is Trinity Storm and you were watching fourth part of What If Naruto Became Wielder of Universal Weapon. If you enjoy this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
The next morning, Naruto and his team stood with the other genins in front of a massive forest surrounded by a metal fence with signs saying, "Keep out, danger," and so on. They could hear sounds of animals and other things they had never heard before. "So this is Area 44, also known as the Forest of Death," Naruto said, looking around the forest with Tora perched on his head. It looks a little less scary," Hinata said, standing close to Naruto, who put his hand on her shoulder to calm her nerves. "I guess since the first phase was theoretical, this phase has to be practical," Sakura said, checking the contents of her ninja pouch. Then Anko appeared in front of them via body flicker with a sadistic grin that terrified most of the genin present. "This is the second stage of the Chunin exams. I'd like to welcome you to the Forest of Death, and you'll soon find out why it's called that," he said. "Hey, whatever's in that forest is no match for my team and I," Naruto boasted, noticing a glint in Anko's eye and knowing what was to come. "Looks like we have a tough guy here." She quickly drew two kunai from her sleeves and flung them at Naruto, who twisted to catch the second by the handle with his teeth before feeling cold steel at his neck. "When tough guys like you enter the forest, they always leave a bloody mess." A grass ninja approached them with a kunai in her tongue, which completely freaked everyone out. "You threw this away." "Thank you," Anko replied, returning the kunai. "Something about that ninja gives me bad vibes, just like Kabuto," Naruto thought as he watched the grass ninja lick her lips with her long tongue. "Then keep your guard up, especially when you're in the forest," Shinami advised. "I must agree with Shinami Naruto-kun, there's a lot of negativity around us right now," Kurama said. "Thanks for the heads up, girls," Naruto said as he turned to face Anko. "Before we begin, I'd like to give you these forms to sign," Anko said, holding out a stack of papers. "What are they?" Shikamaru inquired. "Just your standard consent forms for when you die in this test, so we won't be held liable." "What a drag," says one. "Can this boy get any lazier?" Kurama wondered. "Perhaps we'll just have to wait and see when the time comes," Naruto reasoned. "Before you sign the forms, let me tell you what you'll be doing on this test. There are 44 locked gates around the practice area. Within it are rivers, a forest, and a tower located in the center," she said, reaching into her coat and pulling out two different scrolls. "It is within the arena that you will try to acquire these scrolls through a battle royale with no rules," she said. "Do you mean we have to get both scrolls?" Sasuke inquired. "That's right, there are 26 teams in this test, so half will receive an Earth Scroll and half will receive a Heaven Scroll." "So, how do we pass the test?" Sakura, who had been following the rules so far, inquired. "Your team must bring a Heaven Scroll and an Earth Scroll to the tower," Anko instructed. This must be what Anko meant when he said split the participants in half, because half of us will advance to the next phase while the rest will fail, Naruto speculated. "You should also be aware that there is a time limit. You must complete the test within 5 days while in the forest." 5 days? What are we supposed to eat while we're in there? Choji exclaimed frantically. "You can just look around the forest because there's plenty to eat," Anko explained. "But don't forget that there are a lot of wild animals and poisonous plants in there that could kill you," Kabuto cautioned. "Oh man," Choji said, looking downcast. "Further, there are 3 ways in which you can be disqualified. First, if all 3 members of your team are unable to arrive at the tower with both scrolls within 5 days. Second, if you lose a member of your team or the member is incapacitated. And third, you should never open the scrolls before entering the tower," Anko explained. "And what happens if you open the scrolls?" Kiba inquired. Let's just say it would have been the last thing you would have considered doing, Anko said sadistically. It appears that everyone here has gotten the gist of it, Naruto observed as he looked around. After signing your consent forms, you and your team will take them to the booth and exchange them for your scrolls. After that, each team will pick a gate and be led inside. And here's a piece of advice from me.
Don't die,
said Anko, before glancing at Naruto.
Especially you, Naruto-kun. Naruto looked at her and nodded, then the team scattered to make their decision.
Naruto was walking around after signing the form when he noticed his longtime friend Choji, who was still depressed, and a mischievous grin appeared on his face. What are you up to, Naruto-kun? Kurama asked, recognizing that expression. I'm just going to give my buddy a pep talk, Naruto reasoned as he approached Choji. What's the matter, pal? I was worried about not having enough food to eat. Now I have to worry about being eaten, Choji explained. Listen, Choji, it's only a matter of who is the most hungry being the predator and who is the least hungry being the prey. Tell me, do you want to be the prey? No. Would you rather be the prey? Yes. That's right, so when you go in there, you're demonstrating to the plants and animals that you're the predator, not the prey. Of course I will. And after all of this, you can walk amongst the crowd with pride, showing them that you survived the forest of death, do you feel me? I understand. Then go show me what you're made of, do it for the grill. Sir, yes sir. Yelled Choji, fire in his eyes, Shikamaru looking on in surprise. I'm sure no one has ever thought of motivating an Akamichi like that, Naruto. You're really becoming more troublesome by the minute, the lazy Nara reflected. Someone else was looking at them with fire in his eyes, saying, his flames of youth burn brightly, Yash. Mine will burn just as brightly as his. Later, Naruto and his team waited for the signal to begin the second stage of the exams by standing in front of a gate with a heaven scroll in his ninja pouch. Alright, Sakura-chan and Hinata-chan, let's do our best to pass this test, we're just a few steps closer to becoming Chunin, Naruto said as he tightened his headband, and Tora poked her claws out of the hood. You got it, Naruto-kun, Sakura said. Okay, Naruto-kun, Hinata said shyly. On the loudspeaker, they heard Anko's voice. Alright, rookies, the second part of the test has started. The gates all opened at the same time, and everyone dashed into the forest to begin the hunt for the scrolls. The team stood among the forest's giant trees after constructing some distance from the entrance. So, Naruto-kun, what are your plans for getting us a scroll? Sakura inquired. First, we need to locate the other team's locations in order to plan an ambush and avoid being attacked, said Naruto, who remained silent for a few moments, much to the confusion of both girls, before finally speaking up. I'm going to take a whiz, I'll be right back soon. Naruto walked to a nearby bush to relieve himself when he noticed a change in the winds. He smirked inwardly as he felt cold steel touch his neck. Don't move and give me your scroll, I know you have it, Naruto said, turning around to see a ninja in a pale bodysuit and an oxygen mask behind him. And I don't have it, Naruto chuckled. Then I'll just slit your throat and go after the others, because you're all alone here, the Rain Ninja explained. That's where you're wrong, who said I was alone? He asked, as a blur popped out of his hood and slashed the ninja in the face. Naruto took advantage of the ninja dropping his kunai to hold his face in pain, performing a front flip and planting a kick under the chin that sent him reeling backwards. Tora, use clawed shockwave. Tora directed chakra into her claws and swiped at the Rain Ninja, releasing waves of energy that left gashes and knocked him back even further. Shadow kick. He sped forward, leaving green afterimages behind, and slammed his opponent into a tree, knocking him unconscious. Darn it, he doesn't even have a scroll, Naruto said as he attempted to loot the fallen ninja, but this gives me an idea, he added. What do you mean, Naruto-sama? Shinami inquired, as Naruto was about to reveal the plan when Kurama abruptly interrupted. Naruto-kun, you must return to Sakura and Hinata immediately. They are being attacked by a giant snake. I'm on my way, Tora, let's go. Tora dashed back to the others, hopping back into the hood. Naruto dashed through the bushes to assist Sakura and Hinata in avoiding the snake's lunges. Sakura-chan, Hinata-chan, step aside. I'll handle this snake. As the girls jumped out of the way, the snake changed its target and attempted to chomp on him. Naruto waited until the last possible moment before rolling backwards and charging at the reptile with Tsukiyotoshi drawn from its sheath. Secret Arts. Nightglow. He exclaimed as he delivered an uppercut that summoned a pillar of light that launched the snake's head high into the air. Secret Arts. Running /X3. He then slashed in midair left and right, leaving large gashes on the snake until he got to the head. Secret Arts. Phantom. A shadow appeared behind the snake, and they both descended with a vertical slash, severing it in two. To their surprise, the snake lay there for a moment before disappearing in a puff of smoke. What was that? Sakura inquired. It appears to be a summon, which means it was not a forest dweller, Naruto said as he sheathed the Muramasa. But Anko-san is the only one who can summon snakes, but I don't think it's part of the T-test, Hinata explained. She's right, the only person I can think of who summons snakes is. Naruto's eyes widened when he realized who it was. If so, what is he doing here in the Hidden Leaf Village? Naruto-kun, I sense Anko in the forest, and she appears to be pursuing someone, and his chakra is too high to be that of a genin, Kurama explained. Hinata-chan, Sakura-chan, I see Anko-chan chasing someone who might be involved in summoning the snake, so I'm going to assist her in capturing him. Then we'll stay and remain undetected until you return, and then we'll continue our search for a scroll, Sakura explained. Just be careful, Naruto-kun, I don't want you to get hurt, Hinata expressed concern. Alright, Tora, could you stay with them just in case? Tora meowed in agreement before leaping out of his hood and into Hinata's arms, and Naruto bolted in the direction Kurama indicated. Meanwhile, Anko was jumping through the tree in search of her prey until she spotted him and landed a few meters away. I finally found you. Orochimaru-sensei, Anko said venomously. Kukakukuku, it's been a while Anko, the man said, turning around with an evil smile on his face. I don't have time to go down memory lane with you. I'm going to make you pay for what you did to me, she says. Anko charged at her former master, Orochimaru, who quickly lashed out with his tongue, wrapping itself around her arm and pulling her towards him, but Anko lunged forward and dealt a sidekick that sent him crashing into a tree. Shadow snakes. Snakes shot out of her sleeves and towards the tree, creating a cloud of dust, before she drew Orochimaru out of there wrapped in her snakes and slammed him into a tree. Now die. Anko stabbed the kunai into Orochimaru's heart, only for him to turn into mud and melt away. Damn, he used a mud clone to evade. She felt something wrap around her neck from behind and was thrown into a tree with significant force, causing her some damage. Orochimaru approached Anko with an evil grin on his face. Kukuku, it appears you improved a bit since our last meeting, but it's not enough. Let me show you the difference between us. He formed a hand seal, expecting Anko to reel in pain from her curse seal, only to be surprised that there was no reaction at all. How are you not affected by my curse mark? Hey, because the one I fell in love with removed the seal, freeing me from your stench," Anko smirked. "That's impossible. No one, not even Jiraiya, should be able to remove it." "I'll just give you another one then." As Orochimaru approached her, Anko looked terrified at the prospect of receiving another curse mark when something appeared in front of him and dealt a roundhouse kick to the head, knocking him back. When Anko realized who it was, his expression changed from fear to joy. "Naruto-kun, you've arrived." Naruto had appeared, leaping through the trees when he noticed Orochimaru approaching Anko, and had used Kung Lao's short-range teleport to get between them and knock Orochimaru back with a roundhouse kick. "Don't worry, Anko-chan. I'm here to help," Naruto said with a sly grin. "Kukakuku, if it's not Naruto Uzumaki, the Kyuubi Jinchuriki," Orochimaru said after recovering from the attack. "What good is a brat like you against a Sannin? You know what they say about two heads being better than one." Anko stood next to him after recovering from the attack, then Naruto channeled chakra to the bracelet, tag mode. Umbran Climax. There was a bright glow which faded to reveal Anko holding a pair of blue-colored handguns with two more strapped to her heels. As she took the bullet art stance and stood next to Naruto, who had drawn out Tsukiyotoshi and taken the Oboro blade stance, several images of the weapons flashed through her mind. "Are you ready to tango, Naruto-kun? Let's dance, Anko-chan," smirked Naruto as the duo charged at the snake Sannin, who was stunned by what he had just witnessed. "How did Brat summon that weapon? I've never seen anything like it." Orochimaru wondered. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. The Stains of Time. Anko was the first to reach him and launched a high kick that was blocked by an arm, but the handgun fired a bullet that only grazed his cheek because he had tilted it just in time. Naruto caught up to the snake Sannin, who had pushed Anko away and turned to punch him. Naruto quickly blocked it with the butt cap of the blade's handle, then pushed the fist away and charged in. Shadow Uppercut. He yelled, planting an elbow under Orochimaru's chin, launching both of them into the air and leaving green afterimages behind. Naruto threw the Tsukiyotoshi into the air and grabbed her hand, swung her around, and flung her towards Orochimaru as Anko planted a double kick on his stomach and blasted him away with two shots into a tree. "You'd better take us seriously or you'll end up like a human snake wallet," Naruto smirked as they touched down and he snatched Tsukiyotoshi in the air. "Then I'll just have to take you a little more seriously," Orochimaru said, pulling back his sleeve to reveal a tattoo, then biting his thumb and swiping his blood on it and placing his hand on the tree branch, summoning jutsu. There was a puff of smoke which faded to reveal him riding a giant snake. "What are you going to do now?" As the snake lunged at Naruto and Anko, Orochimaru opened his mouth and a swarm of snakes shot out towards Anko. She began somersaulting in the air while shooting at the snakes, killing them all before they could get any closer. Naruto sheathed Tsukiyotoshi and dashed to the tail, forming hand seals along the way. Wind Style. Gale Claw. Wind gathered around his right hand to form a large claw, which he stabbed into the snake, then he ran up the snake's body, trailing the claw until he reached the head. He jumped away and landed on the trunk of a tree. A purple rune with a Siddha character surrounded him as he took a stance, Ninpo, Art of the Piercing Void. A spherical orb crackling with purple energy formed in between his hands which he fired at the snake, it penetrated the body and exploded. The smoke cleared, revealing the remains, but Sannin was nowhere to be found. Damn, he must have used a mud clone again, Naruto thought as he looked around for his opponent. Naruto-kun, he's behind you. Anko's warning came too late, as Naruto was punched in the head and bound by snakes. Now, 5-pronged seal. Orochimaru's fingers lit up in violet flames before slamming it into Naruto's stomach. But when the blonde puffed into smoke, revealing that it was a shadow clone. He didn't have time to be surprised because he was shot in the shoulders by Anko before turning around and forming hand seals, wind style, great breakthrough, before launching a huge gust at her. Anko jumped into the air, revealing Naruto standing there speeding through a series of hand seals, fire style, fire dragon bullet, and releasing flames in the shape of a dragon that consumed the wind and grew even larger. The enhanced attack made contact, but when the flames died down, it revealed itself to be yet another mud clone. Music stops. Damn, he's a slippery snake, Anko growled angrily. Then they heard laughter and turned to see Orochimaru standing on another tree, greedily looking at Naruto. That power of yours is very interesting. I wish I could give you a gift like Sasuke-kun, but I can't afford to waste time around here, Orochimaru said, Anko's eyes widening at what he had just said. Oh no, he must have marked the Uchiha with a curse. Sorry, Hissy, but you're not going to get me, Naruto said. We'll see, but don't cancel the exams or I might have to take drastic measures, Orochimaru said before sinking into the ground. Can you feel him, Ku-chan? Naruto inquired. No, Naruto-kun, but I sense negative chakra elsewhere, as well as Sakura and Hinata nearby, Kurama explained. Alright then, Naruto said to Anko, I have to check on Sakura-chan and Hinata-chan, then we'll head to the tower after we get an Earth Scroll. Alright, Naruto-kun, I'll go to Hokage-sama and report on what just happened, please be careful on the test, Anko said as the handguns vanished in a flash of light, then she left. You got it, Anko-chan, ride the wing road. Naruto summoned the air treks and skated towards the source of the negative energy. What should we do, Sakura-chan? Hinata asked fearfully. I don't know, Hinata-chan, Sakura replied, concerned. While they waited for Naruto to return, they sensed a surge of chakra and followed it only to see ninja attack Shino, Kiba, and Sasuke. Shino attempted to drain the chakra of Sasuke, Kiba, and Akamaru, who were kneeling on the ground with their ears bleeding due to the metal gauntlet of one of the sounds. Lee then appeared to assist Shino, but they were soon unable to fight any longer. When Sasuke awoke, he was covered in black flame-like markings on his body, radiating chakra that felt foul to those around him. Who does this guy think he is? Said Zaku, the black spiky-haired boy. Zaku, don't provoke him. Exclaimed the second male, Dosu, as the girl, Kin, looked on fearfully. I don't know what that grass ninja did to me, but I can kill him with this power, Sasuke said with an evil grin as the chakra flowed through him. What happened to Sasuke? He's never radiated such chakra before, even my bugs are afraid of it, Shino reflected. Don't worry, I got this. Super slicing wave. Zaku thrust his palms forward and unleashed a powerful blast of wind and sound at Sasuke, resulting in an explosion. Actually, you missed, a voice from behind said, before Zaku was knocked out by a powerful backhand. Everyone turned to see Sasuke standing there with an arm stretched, indicating that he had dodged the attack and appeared from nowhere in a flash of lightning. I've never seen such speed before. What was Orochimaru-sama thinking when he assigned us to fight him? Dosu wondered. What's going on? I didn't want to be here. Kin exclaimed, terrified. What's wrong, Hinata-chan? Sakura asked, looking at Hinata, who was quivering in fear. I used my Byakugan to examine Sasuke's chakra, and it felt dark and evil, Hinata explained. You seem to be very proud of your arms, Sasuke said as he reappeared behind Zaku and grabbed his arms with a sadistic grin. What are you doing? Stop. Sasuke ignored Zaku's pleas and broke his arms before turning his attention to Kin, who began to shake in fear. Now it's your turn, And I hope you can keep me entertained like your teammate here, Sasuke said as he walked slowly to the terrified Kunoichi. Then someone landed in between them, and they all recognized who it was. It's Naruto-kun, Sakura exclaimed happily. Sasuke, that's far enough, Naruto said, his gaze fixed on the boy in front of him. He's not resisting the curse mark at all. Naruto-sama, be careful, the curse mark is different from the one on Anko-san, Shinami warned. Dobi, just the one I'm looking for to put my strength to the test, Sasuke smirked evilly before charging at Naruto. Naruto dodged a straight punch and grabbed his arm, flipping him over, but Sasuke landed on his feet and charged again, this time landing a high kick. Naruto ducked under and used a sweep kick to knock him off balance before sending him tumbling away with a double palm thrust. This time, it was Naruto who dashed towards Sasuke. The raven-haired boy sped through some hand seals and took aim at the blonde, shouting, "Fire style, grand fireball," before shooting a large ball of fire. Naruto sank into the ground and reappeared behind Sasuke, chopping him in the neck and knocking him out. Naruto watched as the cursed marking faded back to the seal and noticed that it was much stronger than the other one. It appears that this seal is much stronger than the first one that I removed, he said. You're right, Naruto-sama, and I doubt the cursed exorcism will be strong enough to remove it. You'll need to create a much stronger jutsu for it, Shinami said. Yeah, but that will have to wait until after the exam. And we still don't have an Earth Scroll, Naruto-kun, Kurama said. Naruto was thinking when he noticed Dosu approaching him. I'd like to make a deal with you. Dosu reached into his ninja pouch and pulled out an Earth Scroll, which he placed on the ground, much to everyone's surprise. I'll give you the scroll if you let us go, Dosu said. Naruto paused for a moment before responding, you've got yourself a deal. Thank you. But the next time we meet in combat, I can assure you that we will not flee. Kin, let's go. Dosu jumped away, while Kin looked at Naruto for a moment before following her teammates. Sakura-chan, Hinata-chan, you can come out now that it's safe, Naruto said, as the girls quickly emerged from the bushes and began to check him for injuries, which included a large bruise on the side of his head from Orochimaru's punch, which Tora noticed and licked in concern for her master, to which Naruto softly smiled and petted her. Are you okay, Naruto-kun? Sakura inquired, concerned. Yeah, I'll be fine now, Naruto said to Kiba and the others. How about you? We should be able to recover, Shino said, thanking everyone for their concern. Alright, but how about the Earth Scroll? You can have it because we already have a complete set. We were on our way to the tower when that grass ninja attacked us before this, says the ninja. Alright, we'll catch you later at the tower, Naruto said as he took off, Sakura and Hinata close behind. They arrived at the tower after a while and passed through the door to find themselves in a room with an inscription on the wall. Sakura carefully read the inscriptions before speaking up. Based on the writing on the wall, I believe we should take the scrolls. Are you sure? Anko-san told us not to open it, Hinata asked hesitantly. Actually, she said we shouldn't open the scrolls until we got to the tower, so now that we're here, we can open them, Naruto said, pulling the scrolls from his pouch and handing one to Sakura. When they both opened the scrolls, smoke began to pour out, forcing them to discard them. The scrolls fell in an X pattern before a large poof cleared to reveal Kurenai, who smiled at them. Kurenai-sensei, what are you doing here? Sakura inquired. To answer your question, their team teachers are supposed to welcome them back and congratulate them on passing the second part of the exam, Kurenai explained. So you would have knocked us out if we had opened the scrolls before entering the tower, right? Naruto asked. You're right about that, Naruto. Since the test is still a few days away, You rest for a while but make sure to stay in the tower or you'll be disqualified, Kurenai said before using body flicker to leave. Alright, girls, let's rest up and wait for the others, Naruto said. Okay, Naruto-kun, Hinata said. The girls left, but Naruto remained behind, taking out a small scroll from his pouch and unsealing it to reveal an even larger scroll. What do you think this scroll contains, Ku-chan and Shinami-chan? Naruto inquired. We don't know, Naruto-kun. We'll have to look into it later, Kurama said. Naruto nodded in agreement before exiting the room. Naruto was laying on a bed in a room at the tower with Tora sleeping on his stomach as he and his team waited for the other participants to arrive, when he reached into his pouch and pulled out a scroll containing the mysterious scroll he discovered in the Forest of Death. Ku-chan, do you know anything about the scroll? Naruto inquired. I have no idea, but it must be very special to have been hidden in a dangerous place like the Forest of Death, Kurama said, as she and Shinami were both intrigued by the scroll. Flashback begins. Naruto was skating towards the source of the surge when he felt something tug at his mind, as if calling him. Did you girls feel that too? Naruto inquired. We felt it as well, Naruto-kun. Perhaps you should investigate the cause as it could be significant, Kurama said. Naruto followed the sensation until he found himself in front of a cave that was well hidden behind some bushes. He was stopped as he approached the entrance by a purple barrier with a slip of paper with a seal drawn on it. By the looks of it, the seal is ancient, and I can't seem to decipher it to figure out how to disable the barrier, Naruto said as he examined the seal in front of him. You can use the Muramasa. It's capable of destroying barriers, and this one is no exception, Shinami explained. But what if it's supposed to keep something dangerous inside sealed? Don't worry, Naruto-kun. I don't sense anything evil inside the cave, so perhaps a relic or something else was sealed inside, Kurama explained. Alright, let's go since the feeling is getting stronger. Naruto grabbed the Mumi no Tamanu's hilt and took an EI stance, then drew the blade out quickly before slowly sheathing it, then with a click the paper was shredded and the barrier shattered a glass. Naruto descended until he came across an underground lake with a rock platform in the center on which a statue is sculpted. It is a humanoid being sitting in the Seiza position, hands on its chest. As he used water walking to cross the lake to get a better look, the statue began to emit a white aura that floated towards Naruto and swirled around him briefly before being absorbed by the statue. What was that all about? Naruto inquired, cautiously and curiously. Perhaps it's the statue's way of verifying one's intentions for whatever it keeps, Shinami speculated. I guess I'll pass then. There was a slight rumble as the statue's hands slowly lowered and held out a large scroll in front of him, motioning for him to take it. Naruto approached the scroll with caution before taking it, and he was about to open it to see what it contained when there was a loud explosion outside the cave. Naruto-kun, we'll open the scroll later. Hurry over there, exclaimed Kurama. Alright, Ku-chan. Naruto re-equipped the air treks and exited the cave. End of flashback. Naruto was startled out of his reverie when he heard a knock on the door and opened it to find Sakura and Hinata standing there. Naruto-kun, Hinata, and I are going to the cafeteria to get something to eat, and we were wondering if you wanted to join us? Sakura asked. Alright, just give me a moment to get ready, I'll be out soon, Naruto said as he returned to his bed and sealed the mystery scroll before putting on his hoodie jacket, which Tora jumped into before walking back to the girls. Alright, let's go. When they entered the cafeteria, they noticed Shikamaru's team had arrived just as Choji was devouring the food. They approached the team and greeted them. It appears you passed the test as well, Naruto said. Yeah, it was a drag, but we got the other scroll by setting up some traps, and Ino used her mind transfer jutsu to possess one of the opposing team and lure them to it, Shikamaru shrugged. It just goes to show how good we are, Ino said proudly, while Choji continued to eat. What's up with Choji? I know he likes to eat, but it looks like he hasn't eaten in a while, Sakura inquired. That's because when we entered the forest and were foraging for food, some of the wild beasts came to attack us, but they quickly turned tail and ran when Choji stared at them intently as if he was going to eat them, Shikamaru explained. Yikes, it appears that my pep talk worked too well, Naruto reflected. It's true, Naruto-kun, your ability to motivate others can be frightening at times, Kurama said. Naruto's ability to inspire could even persuade someone to jump from the Hokage monument while believing it is a good thing. Later, the 5-day time limit expired, signaling the end of the second phase of the exams. Naruto and his friends were in an arena with Sasuke's, Tenten's, Gaia's, and Kabuto's teams. Naruto noticed the sound team standing nearby, as well as Zaku staring intently at Sasuke and the girl looking sad, which perplexed him. Why does she look so sad? It's as if she didn't want to be here, Naruto wondered. Then he turned his gaze to the front, where he noticed Hiruzen standing in front of them, with the Junin standing behind him, except for Anko, who was standing next to him. Meanwhile, Anko and the other Junins were watching the Genin teams that stood before them with interest. I'd like to congratulate you all on passing the second phase of the exam, Anko said, smiling inwardly as she saw Naruto among them. 21 out of 78 were able to pass. I was expecting less, but I'm glad Naruto-kun and the others passed. Looks like your team was able to pass Kakashi. The next round will be based on ability, and they'll have no chance against my team, Guy smiled. Sorry Guy, did you say something? Kakashi asked, his face dull. Alright Kakashi, you win this round, but boy it really burns me up with you acting so cool, Guy said before turning away with fire in his eyes. Looks like they made it, but I'll have to seal the cursed seal away, Kakashi thought as he grabbed the side of Sasuke's neck. So Naruto, Hinata, and Sakura passed the second part of the exam. I hope they go all the way and become Chunin, Kurenai smiled. The Junin from the Sound Village smirked and clutched a part of Sasuke's neck tightly. Kukakuku, that's right Sasuke, soon that body of yours will be mine, he said before turning to face Naruto. I'll find out more about you and that bracelet. Before we move on to the third phase of the exam, I need to tell you about the true purpose of the exam itself, Hiruzen said to the remaining participants. You mean there's more to the exam than just becoming Chunin? Said Naruto, perplexed. It may appear so Naruto-sama, but let's listen to what he has to say, Shinami said. At first glance, the exams are held in different villages every year to improve the shinobi's abilities and as a sign of friendship, but they actually represent battles between allied nations. What does he mean by that? Sakura inquired. In the early years, neighboring nations that we are now allied with were constantly in battle with each other. To avoid wasting military power in vain, each of the nations chose their own champions to go into battle on their behalf. This is how the Chunin exams were created. So there's more to it than just becoming Chunin, right? Shikamaru inquired. That's right. The exams also allow the shinobi to carry the pride of their nations on their backs and compete for their lives against other ninjas. So he means that whatever we do outside of our nation will reveal to others what kind of nation we come from, Naruto reasoned. Many leaders and people of prominence attend these exams as guests and seek out shinobi with great potential to work for them. It also tells them the level of strength that each nation is developing. In other words, the stronger the country, the more jobs it receives. The weaker the country, the fewer jobs it receives. In a way, because we get paid for missions, some of the money goes to the development of the village, which makes a lot of sense, but why do we fight for friendship? Tenten wondered. The strength of the nation is based on the strength of the village, which in turn depends on the strength of the shinobi. It is a custom in which the balance is kept in check by fighting and dying, and that is friendship in the world of shinobi. The third phase of the exam is a fight with the pride of the village and your own dream at stake, says the author. We've got the gist of what's going on around here, so let's move on to the next level, Naruto said, his surrogate grandfather smiling. Very well. Then I'll explain about the third test, Hiruzen was about to say when a leaf ninja appeared in front of him. Lord Hokage, please allow me, Hayate Gecko, proctor of the third exam, to speak first, the ninja said. Permission granted, Hiruzen said. Before we begin the third exam, there's something I'd like all of you to do, the leaf ninja said, turning to face the participating teams. I'm not doing the coughing thing because it's a bit annoying for me and I don't want to waste your time. So, what do you want us to do? Kiba asked, Akamaru barking from inside his jacket. The man's statement, we're going to have a preliminary exam before moving on to the real one, was met with shock and then anger. What do you mean by preliminary tests? Exclaimed Shikamaru. The first and second tests may have been too easy because we didn't expect so many of you to pass, but the rules allow us to apply a preliminary exam at any time during the exam to reduce the number of candidates remaining, Hayate explained. But isn't it unfair? Sakura wondered. Remember what Lord Hokage said. Many important people will be watching, and they've come to see only the best, so we can't afford to waste their time, so if any of you aren't in peak physical condition, now is the time to bow out. What are you doing right now? Exclaimed Kiba. You can't complain about this. Things like this happen even on missions outside the village, Naruto said, and the others quickly agreed with him. I'd like to withdraw from the exam, Kabuto said, much to everyone's surprise. Why are you quitting when you've come so far? Naruto inquired. I'm still recovering from my injuries from the forest, so I don't want to take the risk, and there's always next time, Kabuto said as he exited the arena, but Naruto was staring at him with a stern expression. For someone who gets all the way to the third test and then quits in the middle, this is suspicious. He must have been gathering information all along, Naruto reasoned. You're right, Naruto-kun, any normal genin would do anything to pass the Chunin exam, but he was too relaxed about it, Kurama said. Which only means he's been gathering intelligence to give to someone, but who? Naruto snapped out of his reverie when Hayate spoke up again. Very well then, the preliminary rounds will be based on one-on-one matches, there are 20 of you, so there will be 10 matches, the winners of the matches will advance to the third exam. There are no rules and victory is decided by knockout or death. Now we'll begin, Hayate nodded to Anko, who then spoke into her headset. Turn on the panel. A panel in the wall opened to reveal a large screen that began to shuffle names that Naruto assumed were the names of those around him. It feels like we're on a game show, Naruto said with a smile, as the girls laughed at his joke. The screen soon stopped shuffling through the names and showed the first two competitors, Sasuke Uchiha and Yoroi Akado. Alright, those whose names are displayed should stay on the arena, while the rest will watch from the upper levels. The rest of the genins followed their senseis to the upper levels to watch the battle begin. Yoroi Akado vs Sasuke. Sasuke charged at Yoroi and engaged him in close combat, putting him on the defensive. However, he began to notice that he was becoming tired far too quickly by his own standards. What's going on? My strength seems to be fading too quickly. Sasuke dodged a punch and noticed that it was radiating chakra. Now that I think about it, every time I attack, he blocks with chakra on his hands. Could it be? Seems like you finally figured it out, Yoroi chuckled darkly as he charged at a defensive Sasuke. This will be a problem for Sasuke, Naruto observed as he watched the game. What do you mean, Naruto-kun? Sakura inquired, Kurenai and the others listening. That Yoroi guy appears to be able to drain his opponent's chakra upon contact. I'm sure Hinata can tell. And Naruto-kun is correct. I can see with my Byakugan that Sasuke's chakra level is decreasing while Yoroi's chakra level is increasing, Hinata said. But this would force Sasuke to use the cursed seal and become corrupted, Kurama said, as Naruto noticed Kakashi wasn't reading his novel. Seems like Kakashi ni is keeping an eye out for that, Naruto observed before turning to face the battle. Sasuke was doing everything he could to avoid contact with Yoroi, but every now and then a hand would graze past his body, draining a bit of his chakra, and the cursed seal made it even more difficult. Using close combat is too dangerous, and I don't have enough chakra to use my fire jutsu. There's got to be a way to land a critical hit to turn this around, Sasuke thought frantically before recalling something that made him smirk. I'm done playing with you. It's time to call it quits. Yoroi charged at Sasuke again and reached out to grab him, but Sasuke vanished, much to everyone's surprise except Lee and Guy, who realized what had happened. Could he have copied that move? Lee exclaimed, stunned. What do you mean? Naruto inquired. Before the exams began, I challenged Sasuke to a battle and used a move called the Dancing Leaf Shadow to launch him into the air and appear at his back. His Sharingan must have copied during the battle, he explained. Everyone turned to see Sasuke kick Yoroi into the air and appear behind him, exactly as Lee described, but the cursed seal acted up again and began to cover his body. No. I won't let it take over me. Sasuke used his willpower to force the cursed seal to recede before attacking Yoroi. When they fell to the ground, Sasuke finished with a heel drop kick, Lion's Barrage. The attacks were enough to knock Yoroi out of the match. Winner of the match, Sasuke Uchiha, Hayate announced after checking on Yoroi. You're truly formidable to be able to copy my move, Lee thought. I knew Sasuke-kun would win, laughed Ino. Mother will soon have your blood, Uchiha, Gaia predicted with a sadistic smile, causing Temari and Kankuro to back away in fear. So that's this year's genius, makes me wonder who is the strongest, Sasuke or Neji. Tenten pondered before turning to Naruto. But I wonder how strong you are, Naruto-kun. It's no surprise that Orochimaru is after him. He has great potential, but Naruto-kun told me that he couldn't remove the seal because it was stronger than my own, Anko worried. Kukakuku, you really pique my interest, Sasuke-kun, the disguised Orochimaru thought evilly. Kakashi then appeared behind Sasuke and used the body flicker technique to carry him away. Kakashi ni must have gone to deal with the seal, Naruto reasoned. That could be true, but I doubt it would be very effective, Kurama said. Let's move on to the next match, Hayate said as the screen shuffled again before coming to a halt. Zaku Abumi vs. Shino Aburame. Everyone, especially Naruto's team, had both of Zaku's arms in slings as he waited for Shino to enter the center area. How is he going to fight when Sasuke broke his arms? Sakura wondered. We'll just have to wait and see when the match starts, but I don't think he'll win this match, Naruto said. What makes you say that, and Naruto-kun? Hinata inquired. I can tell Zaku is the type who always tries to overpower his opponents rather than strategize, unlike Shino who plans ahead like a certain someone, Naruto observed Shikamaru. The two ninjas exchanged silent glances until Shino spoke up. You should give up because you won't be able to recover. Like I need to listen to you, I can beat you with one arm. Zaku charged at Shino and delivered a haymaker punch that was blocked and held in place. You couldn't beat me even if you used both of your arms. Oh yeah? Zaku aimed the hole in his palm at Shino's head and fired a blast of wind at him, sending the leaf shinobi tumbling away from him. That'll teach you not to look down on me, he says. Shino slowly stood up and looked at Zaku, then tiny insects crawled out of his coat and across his face, frightening the sound ninja a little. What is that? Sakura, who was creeped out from watching, inquired. Shino is from a clan whose members serve as a hive for parasitic insects that devour chakra. The insects will obey the user as long as they offer chakra to feed them, Kiba explained. In a way, they're like that Yoroi guy, but on a much larger scale, says the author. Zaku was about to launch another attack when Shino spoke up, pointing a finger behind him. Before you try to attack me, you might want to look behind you. Zaku turned to see swarms of insects approaching him. I'll say it again, it's best that you give up. If you attack me with that arm, my insects will attack you, and if you attack the insects, I'll attack your blind side. It always pays to have an ace in the hole, Zaku said. He's right, there's no way out of this unless he's suicidal, Naruto said. I'll have to agree with what you said about having an ace in the hole, because I have one as well. Zaku brought out his other arm and aimed at the insects while also aiming the other at Shino, much to everyone's surprise. Now it's over, he exclaimed, trying to perform his technique at full force, but his arms burst with holes in them. What just happened? Exclaimed Ino, as they all took a closer look and noticed Shino's insects filling up the holes on both arms. While I was trying to warn you but was ignored, I had my insects crawl into your windholes just in case you tried to pull a fast one on me, said Shino before appearing before Zaku and delivering a powerful backhand that knocked him out. Winner of the match, Shino Aburame, Hayate announced, before the medics entered and carried the unconscious sound ninja to the infirmary. You were correct, Naruto-kun, Sakura said. Yeah, if I had to face him, I'd be hard-pressed unless I used either wind or fire jutsu to destroy his insect colony, Naruto said, before the screen lit up with the names for the next match. Masumi Suguru vs. Kankuro. Naruto watched as the sand ninja walked to meet with the other ninja on Kabuto's team. Naruto-kun, what kind of techniques do you think that sand ninja has? Hinata inquired. I'm not sure, but it could be related to that bundle he's carrying, Naruto speculated. Unlike Yoroi, I don't underestimate my opponents. Let me give you this simple advice. Once I've caught you in my jutsu, you must surrender. If you do, I will make it short and painless, Masumi said, but Kankuro simply chuckled and removed the bundle from his back. It's a coincidence because I was about to say the same thing, except slowly and painfully. Hey, we'll see about that, Masumi charged in and attempted to punch Kankuro, who blocked it with his free hand. Masumi smirked behind his mask, wrapping his arms and legs around Kankuro's body and gripping his neck. This is my ability. I can dislocate my joints, softening my body, and then use chakra to control it perfectly. I don't know what you have in that sack, but it's useless as long as I restrain you. Is it true, Hinata-chan? Naruto inquired. It's true, Naruto-kun. I can see the chakra flowing differently, Hinata said, activating her Byakugan. If you remember my advice, take it or I'll break your neck, Masumi said, tightening his grip. I dare you to try, Kankuro said, and then there was a snap and Kankuro's head hung loosely. Even though the rules state that killing is permitted, it is still shocking to see someone killed. I did warn him. He has only himself to blame. 6 wooden arms ripped through the suit that was wrapped around Masumi all of a sudden. When the head turned to face him, paint flaked off the face, revealing some sort of puppet with 3 eyes. A hand pulled the wrappings away from Kankuro, who was crouching with his hand covered in chakra and blue strings coming from the fingertips and connecting to the puppet. What kind of technique is that? Sakura inquired. It's called the puppet technique, and it's where the user controls the movement of a puppet with chakra strings to go into battle. The hidden sand village is known to practice it a lot, Kakashi, who had reappeared behind them, explained. The puppet squeezed even tighter until Masumi couldn't take it any longer and cried out in agony, "Okay, I give up. I give up." But consider how much more flexible you could be, Kankuro said, twitching his fingers to make the puppet squeeze even harder until Masumi passed out from pain. Winner of the match, Konkaru, Hayate announced, before the screen displayed the next match information. Ino Yamanaka vs. Sakura Haruno. Naruto grabbed Sakura's hand and smiled as she walked down the stairs. "Remember Sakura-chan, I'm proud of you win or lose," Naruto said, with Hinata smiling and nodding in agreement. "Okay, Naruto-kun, there's no way I'm going to lose with you and the others watching," Sakura said as she walked to the center area and waited for Ino to come down. "I'm going to beat you and prove to Sasuke that I'm the best girl for him," Ino declared as she confronted Sakura. "Ino, I already told you that I don't love Sasuke, and I never have, so let's stop talking about it and get this match started." "Humph. You're just trying to trick me, and I'm not going to fall for it. What's the point of Naruto anyway? He's just a loser from the academy." Hearing this, Sakura, Hinata, Kurenai, and Anko became enraged, while Naruto appeared hurt, with Kurama and Shinami attempting to console him. "I hope Ino doesn't underestimate Sakura, or else this could end badly for her," Shikamaru said. "What do you mean?" asked Choji, who kept looking in his ninja pouch for potato chips, forgetting that he had eaten them a long time ago. "I can tell Sakura has changed since we left the academy because she no longer pursues Sasuke but rather Naruto," he says. Shikamaru is correct. The fact that she no longer acts like a fangirl indicates that she has trained seriously and should not be underestimated, Asuma observed the two young kunoichi carefully. "Alright, let the battle begin," Hayate said. Then Sakura dashed at Ino and delivered a straight punch, which Ino blocked, but her eyes widened in surprise as she jumped back, her arm clenched in pain. What kind of strength did Forehead have? She was never this strong back at the academy, Ino wondered as she grabbed some shuriken from her pouch and threw them at Sakura, who quickly drew a kunai and deflected the shuriken into the air before grabbing and throwing them back at Ino. She dodged the shuriken by darting to the right before charging into close combat with Sakura. Sakura was able to block and parry Ino's attacks thanks to Anko's training, though a few blows did make contact with her body. Ino attempted a low sweep kick, but Sakura quickly channeled chakra to her legs, causing them to latch onto the ground and stop the attack cold. Sakura grabbed Ino's leg and threw him across the arena before taking a stance to await the next attack. "Whoa, is this really Sakura? She's changed so much since the academy," Choji exclaimed, surprised. "I was right after all, Ino better think of something quick if she wants to win," Shikamaru said. "Sakura has certainly improved since you graduated," Kurama said. "Yeah, she wanted to make up for the time she squandered," Naruto reasoned. Ino slowly rose from the ground, glaring at Sakura. "No. I won't lose to you, I'll win no matter what." Ino drew a kunai, cut her hair, and threw it across the arena, much to everyone's surprise. "Has Ino gone insane?" exclaimed Shikamaru, while Choji was speechless. The same could be said for Naruto and his tenants. "I'm not sure why you cut your, but I'm going to lose." Sakura began to approach her but realized she couldn't move her legs and looked down to see some kind of rope wrapped around her legs and coated in chakra. "I've got you now. I purposely cut my hair and threw it across the arena to hold you down so I wouldn't miss with my next jutsu," Ino said as she performed a special hand sign. "Oh no, she's going to use her clan's jutsu to take over my body, and I can't move," Sakura worriedly thought. "Mind transfer jutsu, it's over." Sakura quickly threw out a kunai with a flash tag wrapped around it, which messed with Ino's aim and caused it to miss the target. That was Naruto. When Ino opened her eyes, she found herself in a forest, with a massive tree in front of her and a lake nearby. "Where am I? This couldn't be Sakura's mind," said Ino looking around the place. "It appears we have an uninvited guest here," a feminine voice from behind said. "It may appear so," another feminine voice said. Ino turned around to see two women staring at her. The first wore a crimson-red kimono and had tied her deep orange hair into a ponytail, but what stood out the most were the fox ears on her head and the 9 tails behind her. The second wore a pure white robe with sandals and long white hair that reached her waist. Who are you? Those tails. You're the Kyuubi? But I thought the 4th Hokage killed you. Ino exclaimed, terrified. Yes, I am the Kyuubi. The 4th couldn't kill me, so he sealed me away as a young child, Kurama explained, despite her anger at the girl for looking down on Naruto. Who is the 4th child who sealed you away in? Ino asked, trying not to panic. That would be me, a familiar voice said, and Ino turned around to see Naruto approaching her. I'm pretty sure no one was expecting this to happen, Naruto said. Wait a minute, you're the one who the 4th sealed the fox inside instead of killing it. I mean her? Said Ino, changing the last part of her sentence when Kurama stared her down. Yes, but I'd like you to keep quiet about it. I'll explain everything to you after the preliminary round, she says. However, why? Because it's an S-level secret that could get you killed if you tell anyone. Please promise me you won't tell anyone. Alright, but who is she? Ino asked, pointing to the other girl. Her name is Shinami, and she is my guardian spirit. After all of this, I'll tell you more. Alright. Then Ino vanished from the mindscape and found herself on the upper level, leaning against a wall, with Shikamaru, Choji, Sakura, Hinata, and Naruto watching over her. Are you okay, Ino? Sakura inquired. I'm fine, but what happened? Ino asked. Well, since you missed with your jutsu, I was declared the winner. Alright, I'm fine now, so let's go watch the other matches. Everyone returned to their seats to watch the screen shuffle through the remaining names, while Ino cast curious glances at Naruto. What happened to you, Naruto, to end up with the fox sealed into you, and why is it a secret? Could it explain why everyone stares at you? Ino pondered before returning her gaze to the screen. Naruto noticed Ino glancing at him every now and then as they watched the screen go through the remaining names at random. Looks like you've piqued her interest now, Naruto-kun, Kurama said. I know. I just hope she doesn't despise me like the other villagers, Naruto worriedly thought as he heard Hinata call out to him. I noticed Ino kept looking at you, Naruto-kun. Did something happen between the two of you? Yeah, I noticed as well, Sakura said as she approached them. During her match with Sakura, Ino's jutsu ended up sending her into my mindscape, where she met Kurama and Shinami. Hinata and Sakura exclaimed, but let Naruto continue. I told her not to tell anyone and that I'd explain everything to her. I can only hope she doesn't hate me. Don't worry, Naruto-kun, I know Ino and she's not like that. I'll also be there to explain everything, Sakura reassured him, holding his hand, Hinata shyly doing the same with his other hand. And don't forget about us, Naruto-kun, Kurama added. Indeed, we're always here for you, Shinami said. Thank you girls. I really appreciate it, Naruto said with a genuine smile, which he rarely shows to anyone except those he considers precious to him. The screen stopped shuffling and displayed the next match's names. Temari vs. Tenten. Oh, Tenten's going to battle, Naruto said, smiling. Do you know her, Naruto-kun? Sakura inquired. Yes, I met her one day while training before the wave mission. She saw me wielding my Muramasa and offered to spar with me. I've got to tell you, she's highly proficient with any weapon that she carries, she says. Wow, makes me glad I wasn't paired with her. You're right about that, especially since she graduated before us and has some experience. Tenten jumped back as the proctor signaled the start of the match as the two kunoichi faced each other in the arena. What's the matter? Do you want me to make the first move? Then that will be a big mistake because my first move will be the last move you'll ever see, Temari taunted, pointing a thumb at herself. Fine. Just remember that you asked for it, then jumped into the air and flung a handful of shuriken at her opponent with pinpoint accuracy. Then there was a flicker of movement from the sand kunoichi as the shuriken landed just a few meters to her, much to the surprise of everyone, especially Tenten and her teammates. There's no way I could have missed. How is this possible? Tenten has never missed her target regardless of where her opponent is, so something must have caused her to miss, Guy speculated. Guy-sensei is correct, but we didn't see the sand ninja do anything, Lee pointed out. Naruto was carefully observing the sand kunoichi. He had noticed a flicker of movement and then felt something else that was familiar to him. If what I sensed is correct, then I'm afraid Tenten will not fare well. Come on, is that all you got? I'm getting bored here, Tamari smirked. I have to calm down, there must be a reason why I missed, but what? Tenten thought as she examined Tamari until she noticed the large metal folding fan strapped to her back. I'm sure it must have something to do with that fan that she's carrying. I think I'll try a different approach, Tenten said. Tamari smirked as she prepared to attack Tenten again. She must have figured out about my fan, but I don't think she knows everything about it, Tamari said.
Tenten began by running around Tamari before pulling a small scroll from her pouch and spinning high into the air, unraveling the scroll to swirl around her. As she swiped her hand across the scroll's seals, a throwing weapon appeared and she grabbed and threw them at Tamari. Tenten landed nearby and glared at her opponent in frustration as the projectiles approached their target. Darn it, what does she have in that fan of hers? Tenten wondered, then noticed Tamari had her fan half open, revealing a purple moon. If you're wondering, this is the first moon. If you see all 3 moons, this match is over for you, Tamari explained. Tamari is just messing around with that leaf ninja, she should hurry up and finish it already, Konkaru said, while Gaia remained silent, uninterested in her sister's match. Don't listen to her, Tenten. Keep your focus and you'll surely find a way to beat her, shouted Lee and Guy, who nodded wisely before striking a good guy pose. Naruto was watching the match intently as Tamari confirmed his theory bit by bit and began to worry for Tenten. Unless she has a trump card she's hiding, I don't think she'll have a chance, Naruto reasoned, with his tenants agreeing. I didn't want to use this before the finals, Tenten said as she reached into her pouch and pulled out 2 identical scrolls that looked different from the first. Before performing a series of hand seals, she crouched low and placed each scroll by her sides. She's going to use that move? Guy asked, surprised. Naruto raised an eyebrow in interest at the techniques she was about to perform. From the way they're talking, it sounds like Tenten is about to unleash one of her most powerful moves, Kurama observed. It seems so, Ku-chan. Let's see if it works, Naruto thought as they continued to watch. Rising twin dragons. A large plume of smoke appeared, and 2 dragons shot into the air, swirling around each other in a dance before disappearing to reveal the 2 scrolls. Tenten leapt into the air in the middle of the scrolls, then unsealed throwing weapons and launched them at Tamari at a much faster rate. Sorry, moon number 2, but that's your second strike. Tamari swung her fan at the projectiles, sending them clattering to the floor once more. Who says I'm done? Tenten jumped again and moved her hands in a pulling motion, and the weapons rose from the floor and into the air. Naruto noticed a glint in the air and realized what was going on. She's moving them with ninja wires, exclaimed Naruto, as the others looked on in awe. Tenten yanked on the wires, causing the weapons to fire again at Tamari, exclaiming, "Now I've got her." But was surprised when Tamari simply smirked and swung her fan again, knocking the projectiles and sending her tumbling to the floor. She slowly stood up to see the fan fully opened and all 3 moons visible. Moon number 3, Tamari said as she twirled her fan and vanished before them. I was afraid of this. Tenten will not win this match, Naruto lamented. What do you mean? Why won't you support your fellow comrade?
yelled Lee angrily, attracting the attention of those nearby. Calm down, Lee. I wasn't saying that to diminish her abilities. It's because she had been matched with her natural enemy, something she was unaware of until now. What do you mean by Tenten's natural enemy? Guy inquired. Let's just say that the Sand Kunoichi and I have something in common, and that is our affinity with wind. Guy's eyes widened in realization as he realized the gravity of the situation. Naruto's right. I can't believe I missed something like this. With no proper countermeasures, it won't end well for her. Guy and Lee now worriedly looked at Tenten. Humph. It was her fate to lose this match, Neji snorted, and Naruto looked at him, surprised, then angry. What's up with this guy? First he glares at Hinata-chan, then he looks down on his teammate? Naruto wondered. I'll have to agree with Naruto-kun. This guy has bad social skills, Kurama said. Tenten searched the area for her opponent. Where did she go? She couldn't have just vanished, she wondered. If you're looking for me, I'm up here, a voice from above said, and Tenten looked up to see Temari gliding through the air on her fan, smirking. She then leapt from the fan and caught it as it fell towards her. Now that you've had your fun, it's time for me to attack with Wind Scythe Jutsu. As Temari swung her fan, a vortex of wind raced towards Tenten, hurling her into the air before she could react, where it proceeded to cut her body with razor-sharp wind blades. Tenten, get out of there! Exclaimed Lee. She won't be able to escape the vortex. I see chakra in the wind, so Temari must be controlling it. It's all over for her, Neji said as he activated his Byakugan. Tenten fell towards Temari as the jutsu faded, and everyone could see that she would land with her back to the metal fan. Oh no, if her back hits the fan, it could possibly damage her spine. Worried Kurenai, the flicker of movement near them and Tenten vanished before landing on the fan, much to everyone's surprise. Where did she go? Temari wondered, until she heard a familiar voice from behind her. I'm sorry to ruin your fun, but I won't let you hurt a good friend of mine, Temari said as she turned to see Naruto glaring at her while carrying Tenten in a bridal carry. What you almost did would have harmed her spine and jeopardized her ninja career, so I'd tread carefully if I were you. I've forgotten about him. The rage in his eyes is almost as if I'm staring at Gaia, Temari worriedly thought. Winner by interference, Temari, Hayate said while coughing. Temari sighed with relief as she quickly returned to her team, who were all staring at Naruto, especially Gaia. That boy could be the one to prove my existence. I'll know when I see him fight. As Naruto carried Tenten back to her team on the upper levels, many of the Leaf Ninja smiled happily, and Hiruzen smiled happily at how Naruto defended his fellow ninjas. Within you, Naruto, the will of fire burns brightly. That kid is a wildcard who could derail our plans. I hope he doesn't pass the preliminary tests, Baki, the Sand Team's sensei, thought. Thank you, it was most youthful of you to save Tenten. Cried Lee, creeping out Naruto a little. No problem at all, said Naruto, turning to Hinata. Hinata-chan, I need your help here, he said. Naruto noticed Neji glaring angrily at Hinata as she approached them, and she walked past him quickly while avoiding his glare, which enraged him even more until he heard Shinami speak up. There appears to be something going on between them, Naruto-sama. I figured that too, but we'll have to ask later when she's calm, Naruto reasoned before approaching Hinata. We could use your salve to treat her wounds, he added. Alright, Naruto-kun. Hinata reached into her pouch and pulled out a small bottle of ointment, then began to treat Tenten's wounds. Tenten opened her eyes and looked around in confusion. What happened? Tenten inquired. You were defeated in your match, and Naruto, in his youth, saved you from further injury, Guy said as he gave Naruto a thumbs up. Thank you very much, Naruto-kun. It's no problem at all. I just didn't want to see you get hurt any longer, Naruto said, causing Tenten to blush, which Sakura and Hinata noticed. That's so nice of him to save me, almost like a knight in shining armor, Tenten reflected. We've got another girl who is interested in Naruto. Wait until Haku and Fu hear about it, they both say at the same time. The screen then flashed again, shuffled through the remaining names, and displayed the details for the next match. Kin vs. Shikamaru Nara. Darn it, when is it going to be my turn? I want to show my awesomeness prowess, Naruto whined, making the tenants and girls laugh at his childishness. Man. What a drag, now I have to fight a girl. Shikamaru grumbled as he entered the area. You'd better watch what you say, little man, or you'll regret it, Kin said, glaring at Nara. Shikamaru had better be careful, these sound ninjas are not to be taken lightly, Naruto warned. I agree with you, Naruto-san, though I hadn't seen her attack us back in the forest, Shino said as he approached him. That may be true, but knowing Shikamaru, he will immediately devise a strategy once he sees her techniques. Meanwhile, Shikamaru was closely watching the kunoichi as the proctor prepared to signal the start of the match. I'm not sure what kind of techniques she might have, because her other teammate didn't provide much intelligence from the battle with Shino, but I've got to keep a safe distance and keep an eye out. If the contestants are ready, the match will begin, Hayate said before jumping back into the fray. Kin launched a pair of senbon at Shikamaru, who ducked beneath them to pin them into the wall behind him. That's so obvious, the next thing you'll do is throw another pair of senbon needles, but one won't have a bell attached in the hopes that I'll avoid the one with the bell but get hit by the one without the bell. How predictable, Shikamaru smirked at the girl, but Naruto frowned at the explanation. That could be true, but I have a feeling there's more to it than that, Naruto said. What do you mean, Naruto-kun? Sakura inquired. I'm not sure. It's just a feeling, she says. You might be onto something, Naruto-sama, but we'll keep an eye on it, Shinami said. So you think you've figured it all out? Kin continued to throw senbon at Shikamaru, who dodged them. Throw as much as you want, but I know what I have to avoid, especially the ones without bells, he said before turning to see the bells attached to the first pair of senbon still ringing. What the? But how? He asked, taking a closer look and seeing thin threads pulling on the bells, sensing an attack and quickly moving, only to be hit in the arm by another pair of senbon needles. What just happened? Ino inquired. I'm not sure, but Shikamaru doesn't look so good, Choji said. Shikamaru tried to move, but he noticed that his body wasn't responding to his commands and that when he looked at Kin, he had double vision. You might as well give up because my bells emit a special sound wave that travels through your ears and into your brain, causing paralysis and hallucination, Kin smirked. Not only that, but it's also interfering with Naruto Otherkun's senses, Kurama explained. If Shikamaru already has a plan in place, he'd better execute it soon, Naruto said. Shikamaru covered his ears in an attempt to muffle the noise, but Kin mocked him. It's pointless, it's already had an effect, so all that's left is to finish you off. Kin prepared to throw another pair of senbon when she realized she couldn't move and noticed Shikamaru smirking at her. How come I can't move? What did you do? All I can say is that my plan worked, Shikamaru said. What plan do you have? What are you talking about? Have you noticed something odd about the thread you're holding, that it's casting a shadow even though it's too thin to do so? Kin looked at her and noticed the shadows beneath the threads, which began to distort and spread until it revealed that it was connected to Shikamaru's shadow. The Shadow Possession Jutsu is a jutsu from my clan that allows me to manipulate my shadow to stretch to a certain distance and then connect with the shadow of my target, forcing them to imitate my movements. I get it now. Shikamaru figured Kin would see the shadow and avoid it instinctively, so he stretched it along the line of the thread while taking a beating to distract her, Naruto explained. Wow. That's pretty smart of him, but I've never seen him act like that at the academy, Sakura said. Shikamaru is smart, but he's a Nara through and through because they have a severe lack of motivation to do anything unless there's a good enough reason, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have participated in the exams if he wasn't forced to. Meanwhile, Kin smirked at Shikamaru, saying, according to what you said, all we'll be doing is mirroring each other's moves, so what do you get out of this? Actually, this is where things start to get interesting, Shikamaru said, pulling a shuriken from his kunai pouch and forcing Kin to do the same. Have you gone insane? If you throw that shuriken at me, you'll injure yourself. Which sounds like a fun game. Let's find out who wins it. You've got to be bluffing. Let's go. They both threw the shuriken at the same time, and as the projectiles approached, Shikamaru bent backwards to avoid them, as did Kin, though she was more willing. Ha! I knew he was bluffing, she said before slamming her head into the wall and losing consciousness. One of the basic lessons is that a ninja must always be aware of their surroundings. Too bad she was distracted and ended up with a headache. Shikamaru flipped back to his feet. The screen lit up again and shuffled through the names before finally displaying the next competitors, Naruto Uzumaki vs. Kiba Inuzuka. Choji and Ino cheered for his victory while Naruto and the others looked impressed. Akamaru. Looks like we got lucky and ended up with the dead last. This will be an easy win, Kiba said as they walked down the stairs, with Akamaru barking in agreement. Aw yeah, it's time for my big debut. Now I can show everyone here that Naruto Uzumaki is here to take the stage. Naruto grabbed the railings and vaulted over to land in the arena with everyone watching. He even left a shadow clone behind, claiming it would serve as a commentator. Do your best, Naruto-kun, Hinata thought. Show him what you've got, Naruto-kun, exclaimed Sakura. Everyone, including me, is curious to see how much you've grown, Hiruzen reasoned. Kukuku, I hope to see something interesting, Naruto-kun, an evil Orochimaru thought. I'm sorry, Kakashi, but your student may lose to Naruto if he continues to underestimate him, Kurenai reasoned. Be careful, Kiba, Naruto isn't the same one from the academy, Kakashi thought. Now I'll see if you can truly prove my existence, Gaia reasoned. Let's see how troublesome you'll be, Shikamaru reasoned. I'll get to see your flames of youth, Lee reasoned. Do your best, Naruto-kun, Tenten thought. Have you truly changed, Naruto? Ino wondered. While Naruto and Kiba stared at each other in the arena, he noticed Naruto's swords were sealed away. Hey, what happened to your swords? Are you afraid I'll break them? Kiba mocked, but Naruto simply smirked and raised his fists. Dude, with fists like these, I don't need to pack any heat, so you'd better watch out, because my 2 punches are ill. 1, 2, 1, 2, Naruto was quickly throwing punches. You're just mouthing off. You're still the academy's dead last, and I'll show you how weak you are. Then show me, you may be talking big now, but when I flatter you, you'll be crying like a puppy. We'll see what happens. If the contestants are prepared, then the battle begins, Hayate said. Kiba Inuzuka vs. Naruto Uzumaki. Beginning of music. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleepost. Future Masters. Akamaru, wait here. I'll handle this, Kiba said, and Akamaru nodded and sat down. Tora, you go and stay with Hinata-chan and Sakura-chan, Naruto said, and Tora nodded and hopped off his hood, returning to the girls. Why are you returning the cat? That's because I work a lot better with a handicap, she explains. Alright, ninja art of beast mimicry, all fours jutsu. Kiba jumped to his feet before sprinting forward and slamming a punch into Naruto's stomach before he could react, sending him flying backwards and not getting up.
What did I say before? You're weak as always. I guess I overestimated him, Kankuro reflected. I guess he's not the one, Gaia reasoned. That was embarrassing, Naruto, Lee reflected. Is this how much you've changed? Wondered Ino. I guess you're still the same, Shikamaru reasoned. Proctor, you can call the match because he's not going to get up anytime soon, Kiba said as he turned around and began to walk away. He was a few steps away when he heard a familiar voice from behind him. Hello, dog boy. He felt a hand grab his shoulder and was forced to turn around, where he was punched in the jaw and thrown to the ground. Kiba stood up and noticed Naruto smirking at him. The next time you throw a punch, throw it from the shoulder because it's a lot more powerful that way, Naruto demonstrated. That's right, Naruto-kun, you're just getting started. Sakura exclaimed, with Hinata nodding silently in agreement. Oh man. I keep forgetting that Naruto isn't someone you can easily figure out, Shikamaru said, and the others agreed. Looks like Naruto isn't messing around anymore, that guy's in for it, Anko said with a sadistic grin. Why you? Kiba snarled angrily. I believe you have a better chance if you include your puppy in the mix. You'll regret it, let's go Akamaru. Kiba charged at Naruto with Akamaru by his side, then reached into his pouch and pulled out a pair of purple pellets, which exploded with smoke, and threw them at Naruto. Those were smoke grenades. Kurama exclaimed. He intends to attack you while Naruto-sama is blinded, Shinami explained. I know, too bad Kiba has forgotten that ninja rely on more than just their eyesight, Naruto reflected. While focusing on his other senses, Naruto felt something approaching from behind him and quickly twisted his body to avoid it. He then sensed another attack aimed at his stomach and blocked it with his hands. The attacks continued to come from various angles, but he was able to deflect or block them. He then caught a punch with his left hand and slammed a palm into Kiba's stomach, sending him flying out of the smoke cloud. I've had enough of hide and punch, wind style, Gale Claw. He swung his hand to clear the smoke, surprising everyone by having the wind cover his hand. He can use wind jutsu? Tamari exclaimed in surprise. Wind users are rare in the Hidden Leaf Village, with me previously being the only one, Asuma said as the cigar fell from his mouth before he caught it.
Enough.
Kiba took out 2 small brown pellets and tossed one to Akamaru, who swallowed it and his fur turned red before eating the other. Looks like Kiba is going to use that jutsu, Shino speculated. What did Kiba and Akamaru eat? Inquired Ino. Those were food pills. It's an energy booster that can make the consumer fight continuously for 3 days and nights without rest, but it frequently results in complete exhaustion when the effects wear off, Choji explained. Alright, Akamaru. The dog jumped onto Kiba's head as he crouched, beast mimicry, man-beast clones. There was a puff of smoke that faded to reveal a doppelganger in Akamaru. Naruto-sama, be careful, that's a clone jutsu like your shadow clones, Shinami warned. Naruto quickly backflipped to avoid the attack as the duo pounced on him. When one of them swiped a clawed hand at him, he twisted his body out of the way and rolled to the right as the second attempted to punch him from behind. He quickly cartwheeled away from their double claw attack. With them attacking back to back, Boss won't have enough time to set up a counterattack, the clone worried. Why isn't he using the bracelet? He should be able to win with its weapons, Sakura wondered. Boss felt he was overly reliant on it and wanted to challenge Kiba with the martial arts training he received from Liu Qiang sensei. Naruto noticed a swipe aimed at his legs from one of the Kibas and quickly into the air but became concerned when he noticed them smirking at him. He fell for it. Let's go, Akamaru.
They yelled after him, spinning into two mini tornadoes, Man-Beast Ultimate Taijutsu, Fang over Fang. Music stops. Naruto screamed in agony as the attacks slammed into his body, and he collapsed to the ground, his hoodie jacket shredded and blood all over him. Naruto-kun. Sakura and Hinata yelled in concern as they and everyone else watched him slowly rise from the ground, his jacket falling off and his t-shirt ripped. Come on, Naruto-kun, hang in there, Anko thought. Come on Naruto, don't let your youth fade, Lee said, his fists clenched. Don't give up, Naruto-kun. I know you're stronger than this, Tenten reasoned. How much damage did I cause, Ku-chan? Pondered Naruto. I'm healing your wounds right now. You'll be back to normal soon, Kurama said as she passed her chakra through his chakra circulatory. I told you I'd show you how weak you were, so you might as well throw in the towel, Kiba mocked. Then forget it. As long as my dream remains unfulfilled, there's no way I'm giving in, Naruto said as he stood, his wounds already closing up. Please, that stupid dream of becoming Hokage is a fool's errand. There's no way you'll ever be Hokage, especially with how stupid you are. Many Naruto supporters became enraged and glared angrily at Kiba until he spoke up. I've had enough of you insulting me up to this point, and it's going to be the worst mistake of your life. Teach him a lesson he'll never forget, yelled Kurama, who was joined in his rage by Chinami. Naruto crossed his arms in front of his face, causing his clone's eyes to widen in surprise. Kiba has done it now, and the boss is about to unleash his wrath. What do you mean by that? Lee inquired. It's a state in which one would attack his enemies ferociously and relentlessly. In other words, it's not going to be pretty for Kiba. Everyone returned their attention to the match to see what would happen. Beginning music. Kingdom Hearts 2 Ost. The 13th struggle. Kiba began to shake as he felt a certain pressure being emitted by the blonde as he brought his hands down to his sides and raised his head to the ceiling and unleashed a powerful roar. Naruto extended his hand and pointed to the ground. Step up, I dare you, Naruto said with rage in his eyes, shaking his head to clear his mind. Come on, Akamaru, let's get him. They charged at Naruto and tried to pounce him again, but this time Naruto was prepared. Tornado spin. Naruto crossed his arm across his chest and spun in one place while exuding blue energy from his body, knocking them into the air before jumping after them with dive kicks. He then grabbed one of their legs and swung around to slam into the other, sending them to the ground. What? That looks almost identical to Hyuga clan techniques, exclaimed Neji angrily. That may be true, but Naruto learned it from his master, so it wasn't copied, Kurenai defended her student. Amazing, he's really wailing on them, Shikamaru exclaimed. And he's only getting started, smirked the clone. The Kibas charged in again, this time throwing another pair of smoke grenades at Naruto. Fang over Fang. They yelled as they spun into mini tornadoes and attacked him. Even if you change it, that won't work the second time, wind style, typhoon dance. Naruto began to spin rapidly while hovering in midair with the wind circling him, which blew away the smoke and dragged the Kibas into the current. Using the power of the spin, Naruto delivered a powerful roundhouse kick that sent the Kibas flying away, one slamming into a wall that puffed into smoke, revealing an unconscious Akamaru, and the other falling to the floor before recovering. Akamaru. Damn you. Kiba charged in angrily and began punching and kicking Naruto before landing an uppercut beneath the chin. CCC combo breaker, exclaimed the clone, before Naruto unleashed a barrage of punches and kicks of his own, knocking him out with a double palm thrust. Kiba slowly stood up but was stumbling around while stunned. Kill him. I have a feeling Kiba is in for a world of hurt, Choji said, shivering slightly as he heard the clone say those words. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto summoned 4 clones, then walked on his hands and legs, his right leg stretched out and glowing, and the clones dashed out in various directions. The first clone dashed forward and punched Kiba in the face, causing him to stumble. The second clone came from behind and knocked him off his feet with a slide kick. While the original leapt into the air with his right leg glowing brighter, the third clone dashed in from the left and used a rising kick to launch him into the air. The final clone appeared under Kiba while performing a handstand and dealt a double kick to send him higher. Uzumaki Barrage X. Naruto slammed a powerful heel drop kick, and they both descended to the ground, creating a small crater, while Kiba lay motionless. Here's a little tip from me. Next time try blocking with your fists instead of your face and stop being a dog that can't learn new tricks, Naruto said before giving Sakura and Hinata a foxy grin that made Tenten and Ino jealous. Match winner, Naruto Uzumaki, Hayate declared. Yosha. Your youth burns brightly. I'll make sure mine burns just as brightly, yelled Lee, his eyes filled with fire. Wow, who would have thought Naruto would be this strong? Shikamaru exclaimed, surprised. What a huge shock, Choji exclaimed. Wow, I never expected Naruto to be so strong and cool, Ino thought. I was hoping you'd use your weapons, but this works just as well, Tenten reasoned. You've come a long way, Naruto, Hiruzen exclaimed happily. Kukakuku, you've really piqued my interest, Naruto-kun, Orochimaru said evilly. I should be sad about Kiba's death, but well done, Otouto, Kakashi thought with an eye smile. That's my Naruto-kun, Anko exclaimed joyfully. He is the one who will prove my existence. I can't wait to taste your blood, Gaia thought madly. I hope I'm not anywhere near him when we start our plans, Kankuro thought. We might need to set up precautions for this kid, Baki worriedly thought. When Naruto reached the upper levels, he was glommed by the girls, and Tora climbed to his shoulder and rubbed his cheeks before bandaging some of the wounds that Kurama hadn't yet healed. Now then, let us proceed to the next match, Hayate said as the screen began to shuffle through the names again after Kiba was taken away by the medics.
So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more awesome stories like this. Thank you. See you all in my next video.